And what we have right now is we've got AleshaKills on a group of Kilos is called a pod. So that's going to be Kilo Bold Innovator. And obviously a Justice Primal Shadow Shell, because that's all that you're allowed to do if you have that as your hero in this tournament. And trying to, like, just ramp up to some really disgusting cheap cards. We've seen Kilo be insane. Eileen Clan Mother, Carvet, Kaifus. These are the kinds of things that you want to hit. And you want to get there by being able to, like, sacrifice Inquisitive Crow or Grip Knife Assassin, Pony Snatcher. All these things with multiple abilities that you're using to kind of cheat out things. The other side of that is Ace Donis, which is the AkanesKiryu Deck, which is going to be specifically around a lot of flyers and burn spells. You've got, like, Ace Donis is going to be the hero here, so Ace Donis Untainted. When it hits, then you increase the damage of a spell in your hand by 3, so obviously there's going to be a lot of spells. So we're going to see things like Conflagrates and Torches and Cinder Clutch and all that kind of stuff facing off against that Kilo. I think the big thing that we've got to watch out for here is just how many flyers the Ace Donis deck has. And if there's the ability to get, like, a Kozin or Burning Core Drake down early and then lead it into an Ace Donis and then into, like, a Brutal Frost Lord and kind of keep that train rolling, then I think that things are going to go very well for Akane. But if they let Alesha get a foot in the door and snap down a Kilo and actually start sacrificing, we've seen how poorly that turns out, even if your deck is set up to go late game. So we're going to watch Akane first. So we're watching from the side of the Skycrag Dragons. We'll see how things go. And we've got a nice start. I mean, I said that this is exactly the kind of thing that you wanted to see. Turn 1, Oni Dragonsmith. Turn 2, Burning Core Drake. Feels real good. This is just an incredible start. Facing 6 damage on turn 2 with 3 of it in the air is real nasty. Oh my god. Into Tattoo Dragon. This is absolutely pitch perfect. Although I think that Akane needed to play the Tattoo Dragon first in case that Dragonsmith died. No Tattoo Dragon coming down at all. Worried about a board wipe of some kind from Alesha. Maybe just wanting to hold up Seer as a counter to, like, a Kilo. I think you definitely want to have the Tattoo Dragon down now because... Or maybe not. No, you're not drawing extra cards yet. It'll be next turn. You want to get it down soon, though. This is going to be a tough game for Alesha to come back in. I'm very surprised that Akane spent this long being patient, but maybe just really concerned about that Kilo, which is fair. Kilo is a terrifying card for Akane to have to deal with. The reason why I'm a little hesitant about this line is that you can kill it on your turn again anyways, the Seer, and you're never going to stop Kilo from activating at least once. That's something that's going to happen no matter what. So I think that Akane would have been better served to put some more pressure down here, but as it stands, Alesha is still under a lot of pressure. You gotta see the Tattoo Dragon now. Yeah. Drawing those extra treasures. Can still hold up the Seer. It makes way too much sense to do this. Yeah, and I like passing now and holding up the Seer. Definitely the right play there.
For your safety.
Well, Alesha does have the Kilo plan. The question is, what do you get here? Like, Mokdo isn't enough. You just die if you play Mokdo. It's got to be Vara. Yeah, Vara makes a lot of sense. So now the response is to just Seer the Vara, and it's an automatic win. So really well played there by Akane, now holding up that Seer. And that'll cleanly kill Alesha. And a very, very fast game one. A near perfect draw, may I say, by Akane. And now we're going to watch from the other side and see if Alesha can turn around that steamroll. Something that we don't talk about a whole lot. I try and mention it sometimes, but we just had in chat, too. Arzu was saying like they were feeling very nervous as our finalist, Arzu being in the grand finals. That's a thing that matters, right? Getting trounced that hard, getting a perfect draw against you, really does hurt. Like, it feels bad. It's a mental game. You've got to recover from that and, you know, take a deep breath and just stick to your play, realize that that's going to happen, and try and capitalize on what you can do the next game. And it's very easy to lose that focus and make mistakes just because you feel defeated already. So we'll see if Alesha is able to muster back. Alesha is a very good player, a very strong player, and I would say generally is able to do that, but it can definitely affect even the strongest players. We'll wish them both good luck right now. And yeah, definitely the momentum on Akane's side. Oh wow, Akane starting with Dragonsmith again. And like, if you're Alesha, you've just got to be shaking your head here. This hand is great, but this Akane has the exact same hand. The same turn 1, turn 2 start. At least this time it's on the draw instead of on the play, but it feels backbreaking. And Alesha is going to attack. I almost would have blocked there if I'm Akane. You don't know that there's a kilo, but if you knew that there was a kilo, you'd almost be tempted to block there. Alesha does have a Mokdo, so that's a bad... That's going to be tough for Akane, but, I mean, I don't know. Akane with Funeral Pyre now to pick off that Ikaria.
Run, cowards.
A good blocker here, but already down 9 damage. And so the big question is, does Akane have a way to stop the Mokdo? Because if Akane has something, like a Permafrost, I mean, obviously not Permafrost if this attack is coming in. So Akane probably does not have, like, Polymorph or Permafrost, one of the more permanent answers in her deck to actually kill off a Mokdo. Yeah, and Alesha is absolutely priced into blocking here. Like, if you're Alesha and you take out the Seer and the Burning Core Drake, you've actually got to be pretty happy with that, honestly. I would be. This is an interesting draw for Alesha. Alesha cannot play that second Kilo. Those are the rules of the tournament, so the second one is dead. Unfortunately, that means that Alesha can't just play one to sacrifice it to the other. But this Eileen is coming down next turn. And I think that Alesha might have held on long enough to actually stabilize and win this game. Akane maybe being stuck a little bit on power, just now finding their fourth.
My runes failed.
Yeah, Mortaring Kilo is a good start, but now Alesha top decks a power card, and that does mean that Eileen can ultimate, right? And just kill the whole board? Yeah, so Eileen can now become an 8-9 and wipe out Akane's entire board. Instead, going for the Immortalize.
Face judgment.
I'm a little surprised by that. Both pretty good plays, though. I mean, this just feels incredibly hard for Alesha to bounce back from. And Akane is getting in there. I think that Akane kind of needs to do that. Like, I actually agree with those kinds of attacks, because Akane just needs to try and find some kind of mistake here, I think, on the part of Alesha. I don't think that there's a lot of ways out besides that. You've got to make some really dicey attacks just to try and get things moving.
This night
So Rindra can be sacrificed to find a 6-drop, so that could be a Kaifus. Could also be... what else is on 6? Carve it. Carve it is a good one. Lifesteal guaranteed. Definitely a tough thing for Akane to deal with. And Akane's doing the best they can with the board they're given, but... once Alesha has stabilized, it's just very hard for Akane to actually do anything about it. Akane's deck is really powerful and leads to some incredible starting hands, but it is also one of those decks that doesn't necessarily battle back. Battling back is not a forte of this style of deck.
Now it's my turn.
And this might be enough for Akane to finally scoop it. Hard to say, there's a lot of things on Alesha's side here. I don't see a way. Wow, Sleeping Drought invoked to get back the Vara, make it a 7-7. So a very decisive game 1 win from Akane, and then the exact same turnaround from Alesha. And Alesha did it into a really powerful hand from Akane. Managed to get Alesha pretty low, but all that lifesteal coming in very handy. That's a very spicy invoke. And we are going to get a game 3 between these two players. Alesha playing very well despite that trouncing in round 1. Doing exactly what she needed to mitigate damage and just take it to the late game. Akane doing the same, but just not having the cards to actually bust through the flying and lifesteal that Alesha actually managed to get. Because that's the real thing that Alesha needs to find. Alesha needs to find those flyers. They need to find Unseen Commando, Geomar, the Mokto and Aura Piercer that we saw, and be able to play them fast enough. So we are going to watch, once again, from Akane's side. And this is Game 3 of Losers Finals. Whoever loses this game is out of the tournament. Whoever wins is on to the Grand Finals against Arzu. We'll wish our players one final good luck. Great looking hand here. No unit, but definitely a keeper. Strategize generally can find something aggressive. And Akane is on the play, which is a big advantage for Akane's deck. That's one of the big reasons I think that last game went the way that it went, is that Akane was just on the draw, and their hand was a lot less effective because of that, even though it was still very good. And you've got to strategize, I think. You want to try and find some pressure here. Genève Merchant is helpful. Not exactly the card that you wanted to see. It's not the most aggressive thing, but it can do some stuff. There's Provoke the Dragons, Reef Surface, and Unexpected Results in the market for Akane. And we see an early Kilo here. Akane is just going to snap Office here, and I like that play for sure. I feel like that also means, though, that Alesha is going to have a second Kilo. Alesha's a very smart, very patient player most of the time, and I wouldn't think that she would just throw away a Kilo that early for no reason.
Something catch your eye.
Polymorph is a good draw. That can help Akane out with a lot of problem cards like that Mokto that we saw earlier. But Akane really needs to find some big dragons or something here soon. Their hand is just a little slow, no flyers. The Strategize didn't really come up with anything. And Alesha's not putting on a lot of pressure, but Alesha doesn't need to. Alesha wins this game through attrition. Alesha has the lifesteal. They have the inevitability. And I've got to imagine double damage on the mortar? No, onto the Provoke the Dragons. Ooh. More lifesteal on the side of Alesha. Akane can remove that. Polymorph will happen. Yeah, and snaps it off immediately. And Akane plays Spellbound Vestige. I wouldn't say that's a bad play, but it's rough because, I mean, Alesha's able to race really effectively with this Hidden Road Smuggler. That lifesteal is certainly doing a number on Akane here. Oh, I was going to say that's a great top deck, but it's not. Akane actually missing the third fire. And the hole that Akane's in is just kind of deepening slowly. Because right now, they're just trading even blows. This is essentially 4 damage because of the lifesteal. There's a good top deck, though. Akane hitting Provoke. I would think I would have wanted to almost go for the Provoke the Dragons there. And just try and get in a sneaky ton of damage. Also, getting rid of the Hidden Road Smuggler would have been a nice pickup. It looks like Akane might be holding these to try and burn Alesha out by surprise. Oh, and here comes that Kilo. Interesting to note, I said that I didn't think that Alesha would have thrown Kilo down so early without a backup, and Alesha did. Alesha changed up the strategy a bit there for sure. Yeah, Akane having to expend 2 cards to pick up that Vara. I feel like that not double damaging the mortar is coming back to bite a little bit. And a tough decision. It's nice to have 2 things that deal 4 as well. Just ended up this is worse. And yeah, now Alesha is able to keep that Kilo online. And I think that you have to kill the Vara, but it can't feel good because you know that Kilo is just going to be able to keep getting more and more gas. And Akane, unfortunately, just flooding out here now. Drawing only 2 units this whole game. Alesha digging for a Black Sky Harbinger. And Conflagrate is nice, but it's not enough to pick up anything that... Like, it's not enough to pick up the board. It'll kill the Kilo. I was going to say it's not enough to kill anything that matters. But Kilo absolutely matters. However, you still have to deal with that Black Sky Harbinger afterwards. And Akane doesn't have any way to do that. Oh, God, that's backbreaking. An Immortalized Vara coming out. Immediately able to pull back Vara Vengeance Seeker.
Now you'll see what I'm
Or the Hidden Road Smuggler, depending on what Alesha wants to get out of the market. Yeah, it's going to be the Vara. And this definitely feels like a game over for Akane. A really awesome try. Tough draw here in Game 3. And well played. But it's going to go for Alesha. Alesha, who has battled her way all the way back from round 1. I just want to point this out. Having lost to Arzu in round 1 of this tournament, is now going to get a chance at revenge. So we've got round 1, Alesha versus Arzu in the winners. Alesha losing that match, and then winning every single match all the way up through loser's bracket from the bottom. Now going 2-1 over a very hard-fought battle with Akane to face Arzu in the grand finals and try and get revenge for that early loss. So we have a heck of a start for this finals night. We're about to do the grand finals, so stick around.